In their final game before the holiday break and their first of a back-to-back against the league-leading Boston Bruins, the New Jersey Devils fell to those Boston Bruins by a score of 4-3 on Friday night at The Rock in Newark. Goals coming from Patrice, Bergeron, David Pastrnak had a couple. Jake DeBrusk, Jack Hughes, Tomas Tatar, and Yegor Sharangovich on the other side for the Devils to round out this 4-3 scoreline. The Devils coming into this one, going through one of their toughest stretches of the season, losing 6 in a row before Mackenzie Blackwood drew back into the lineup and got a win away against the Florida Panthers on Tuesday. Leading into this one, the Devils had some momentum despite playing through that bad stretch, and they came out flying in that first period. They really controlled the game, and that control ultimately culminated in a first period power play goal from Jack Hughes, who walked in on to the far left circle and fired a wrist shot that beat the Boston Bruins' Linus Ullmark in goal to make it 1-0 at the end of one. However, in that second period, the Devils would continue to control that game, but it started to slip away from them as a couple of defensive errors would really come to haunt them. Patrice Bergeron was able to redirect a sweeping Jake DeBrusk wrist shot. Mackenzie Blackwood caught just a little bit out of position. Things squared at 1 just 3 minutes into that second period. And just another minute and 22 seconds later, it's David Pastrnak who finds a bit of space in the offensive zone, toe drags past Jonas Siegenthaler and fires one into the top shelf of a goal behind yet another instance of Mackenzie Blackwood being caught out of position. David Pastrnak would add another just 5 minutes later, this time on a rebound in front. It takes off a Mackenzie Blackwood, really bad decision behind the net to try to play the puck. Damon Severson loses sight of it. It's picked up in front, thrown to the net where Pastrnak was able to jam it home twice through the 5-hole, through the wickets of Blackwood to make it 3-1. And at this point, it seemed like any sort of comeback for New Jersey might just be insurmountable. Given the quality that the Bruins possessed, even just from a few chances, they were very clinical in front of the goal, and they would only go and get another one. It was Jacob DeBrusk as Brad Marchand beautifully reads Kevin Ball behind the net. Kevin Ball gives the puck right away to him, and Marchand, with patience, finds DeBrusk in front of the net, who easily taps one home past a hopeless Mackenzie Blackwood. The Devils really did not look like themselves at all in that second frame. And that's not to say that they didn't have a lot of the puck or didn't show that their pace, but the Bruins' defensive structure allowed for them to force shots on goal that either were not going to challenge Linus Ullmark, or if they did, Ullmark was going to be in the position to make a save. And Ullmark did have to stand on his head a couple times, noticeably against a 2-on-1 that Bratt and Hischier set up. Ullmark was quick across his goal crease to deny Hischier, and then just minutes later, the Devils didn't seem like they got a lot of puck luck. It was Tomas Tatar who hit the crossbar. Just that sort of night for New Jersey. And we feel like we've been saying this a lot over this last now 8-game stretch in which the Devils don't necessarily look like the worst team even, or don't even not look like themselves, but they play in a way that would indicate that they're getting a lot of chances, but they can't put those chances away. And the quality of those chances seems to be dwindling as each game goes on. However, one mantra that did stay with the Devils in this one is that they don't go down without a fight. And in the third period, they proved that. Tomas Tatar got things going 11 minutes in. A bit of a tricky goal to have scored on a couple of bounces and a rebound in front and open net, but it was just because the Devils were really piling pressure on Ullmark as a one-timer from the point that was denied. Brendan Smith had the try, and Tatar was there to put home the rebound. Just a couple minutes later, with about 6 or so to go in that third period, Yegor Sharangovich got off a rebound of Dougie Hamilton's one-timer to make it 4-3. Although they did come back into this one, it was too little too late. The Devils really did show promise in those first and third periods, but that second period pointed out a lot of glaring errors, especially with this young defensive core that they've had to bring in now. John Marino and Ryan Graves, two staples in this team, were out with injury, and we've heard the criticisms of the Brendan Smith and Damon Severson pairing. When they have the puck, they were on the ice for Blackwood's mishap that led to the Pastrnak second, and Okotiuk, Nikita Okotiuk coming in his first NHL game this season, being called up due to Graves and Marino's injury, with Kevin Ball drawing in. He had two NHL inexperienced left-handed defensemen, two physical guys with pretty similar profiles, and their strength is in physicality and skating. both left-handed guys playing together. It led to Kevin Ball being dropped in that third period. They went with a five-man defensive rotation to tighten things up. Lindy Ruff, after the game, said that was so they could get their best guys out on the ice for the majority of that third period. And given Ball's mistake late in the second, you can understand why. Tough situation, but this is what good teams go through in the NHL. They battle with this adversity and they continue to win. The Devils on a bad slide, going back to the Nathan Bastian injury against Florida. You think about that one, what Nathan Bastian provides on the forward core that no other New Jersey Devils forward does in his physicality and his presence, even though that you get physical contributions all over the ice from guys like Miles Wood, even today, who was really looked like he was going to try to stretch that Bruins defense out, and that Bruins defense was so compact and so structurally organized well that the Devils, I mean, when they did have those chances, they struggled with them, and that's what good teams will do to you, good experienced teams will do to you, and that's just another lump in the road that the Devils are going to have to figure out. And if they didn't figure it out tonight in that final third period, they're going to have another go against the Bruins on Tuesday. They take on the Bruins again following the Christmas break in the NHL. This is a big one. The Devils now 4 points back from first place as the Hurricanes take care of the Philadelphia Flyers to extend that lead in the Metropolitan Division. The Devils dropping now down to second, where there's just 4 points between them and the playoff line. So it's anyone's division now, and that's why the Devils' 13-game win streak in the beginning of the year was so crucial. Not necessarily the norm. You can't be expected to win 13 games in a row constantly. But now, when you go through these stretches where there are injuries to your defensemen and you play some of the best teams in a row, and the fatigue starts to wear on you after playing so many games in certain weeks, this is why that 13-game win streak, we can look back on it as New Jersey Devils onlookers. You can look back on that fondly and remember now that this is why going through a skid can be manageable. The Devils are going to have to work through this one, though. Mackenzie Blackwood was taken out from the second period and replaced by Vitek Vanacek just as a way to get another spark back into this game. Lindy Ruff did defend Blackwood after the game, saying that sometimes you get good bounces from your goaltender, sometimes you don't. Not that everything was on him. He kept the Devils into in the game against the Panthers in Sunrise, Florida on Tuesday that snapped that losing streak. So you have to be able to look at your goaltenders, take the good, take the bad, and the Devils will have to do just that as they look to get back on track. 1 win in their last 7 now for the New Jersey Devils as they play host to the Boston Bruins once again on Tuesday. The league-leading Boston Bruins, that is, the Devils looking to get back into the win column for an extended period of time. For WFUV Sports, I'm James Burley, wishing you guys a happy and safe holiday season. I will see you guys next time.